right, Jeff. Let's get to why you're here today. It's been fun catching up, playing games with you, but now we're talking about the real deal. Race for the Rails 2020. You were picked, and I have proof. You were in the top 4 of brackets, right? Did you know that?
Yeah, I was 12%.
Yeah, let's put that graphic up for the world to see. But this is your first race. But here I think is where PV loses it. It's Ranger Danger.
He comes flying off of this.
Yeah, he got air.
Woo!
He couldn't stick it. And then his one wheel goes down.
Way.
Now, Jeff, if you stay on your one wheel, you're going on. Like we were screaming in the house because you were one of the faves for us when we made our brackets around here. You know,
and if you notice, and like if you go back and watch at the end of this, I'm literally like turning around because I'm not even pushing myself to go super fast so I don't come off the board, because I was ready for him to come and I was just going to try to cut him off anytime he tried to pass me. So if you go back, like, dude, I'm like just almost like having like a daily commute down the snake run on Race for the Rail, and he's coming on me, and there's around this one corner. I remember turning around and looking at him and like, yeah, I'm good, but he was almost there. He almost got back up to me. Shout out to Brandon Peavy. He was actually on our podcast yesterday.
Oh, was he?
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. He's brand new to the sport. He comes from motocross or a sport like that, right? With dirt bikes, comes in, and he has that little bit of that grittiness that comes from that sport as he's going. So it was fun to watch him. Totally bummed for that crash. He's out, but it does allow you, without having any drama in that heat, to move on. There would have had been some kind of drama.
And it pretty much it set the whole tone actually for the second race for me mentally, because in the Eastern, something like that similar happened where it was the first race. Luke Austin comes off, and I was able to move on, kind of like being at the right place, right time, being safe, staying on board, being conservative. Having that happen on the first heat of this one, and me going on mentally for that second one, I was going for the whole shot, and I was going for the win. And so it's kind of funny that this race actually kind of put me mentality wise in that going into race 2.
Okay, so that's an interesting setup to race 2, because very different. You're now in the semifinals, right? That's where you find yourself. You finish here in the top 2, and you're going to the finals. And this is
and everyone in that heat was just stacked. So like literally, like I got Kyle next to me. Kyle and Bodie, to me, I feel like are the best one-wheel riders in the world. And so, I mean, dude, Kyle can just go through anything and stay on the board. So like literally my goal, and in fact, if you go to heat 1 and heat 2, you see me change my lines because my lane in the first one, it had a little bit of soft patch right when you get down. So you're not able to just really, you're not able to, actually I got it messed up. The one on the outside is what I chose on my second heat. And I did that because of it being super hard right there when you hit the ground. And I was able to get right in front of Kyle. And here's another cool little insight. In heat 1, when I was racing Tyler, I chose lane 3, which I'm looking at the back of Tyler, and he got the whole shot, right? Yeah. And there was a point where I had to back up because I'm seeing his back. And there's a point where I'm like, okay, I don't want to wreck. So boom, have it. Well, in lane 2, I knew that experience. So I got the outside lane, and I'm not seeing what I'm doing. I'm just going for it. And Kyle has to make that decision to stop and let me get through, or we wreck. You know what I mean? And so that was another cool little insight about the lane choice.
When you're saying you're getting lane choices, like how is that? Like, are you playing rock, paper, scissors there? Or
no, that's where the ranking comes in key. I was able to actually pick my unless I'm racing Austin, I got top pick because I was
top pick.
Every heat.
Every heat.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the first one I actually picked what I thought was the best lane because it was the straight line. But because you have to be light right when you drop, boom, and then I can see lane 4 right here, and he's not looking at me; he's just blazing, you know. And I'm like, I want that guy. And so heat 2, I did it, and it helped me get the whole shot.
Okay, so that's a good setup to heat 2. Here, we're going to roll the footage of heat 2. And as you watch it, you can explain to us as viewers. I'm not sure where we drop in on heat 2, but you'll just have to catch up and then narrate what's going on for you. and then we'll have some questions
For
about
sure.
it. Can we? Our tech team is trying to find. Here you go. Yeah,
All right, so right here,
to
I'm
us.
not seeing what Kyle's doing. I'm just going for it, and Kyle eventually but see, the thing is, Kyle's normal, so he's not looking at me either. Really, me and Tyler were both goofy, so I was able to look at him on the first race.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're still good. First, still in first place all the way up until like the third feature. This is a great time right here. Adrenaline's pumping. You got everyone behind you. Pressure's on. This is the best seat to have, to be honest.
So awesome.
I'd rather have this. Yeah, I'd rather have first place than like third place, like waiting for some sort of crazy stuff to happen.
Yeah, and Bodie was talking about how much dust is in your face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't see nothing.
Okay, the other thing on this with you in first, are you paying attention to those behind you at all, or are you just...
Not at all. I don't care about them. I'm going. I'm racing my race, and here's where I mess up mentally as well. Like, just real quick. Pause it real fast.
Yeah, pause that icon if you would.
Oh.
All right, hey, let's come back to full screen to Jeff, and then we'll pick it up right there, okay?
Okay, so here's something key that I took from this little race right here. Or not little race, it's a big race.
Yeah.
But so when you're in the first place, what I feel like do a great job of is having the self-discipline as a racer to practice my race and race that race in the race. And of course you can't really do that because there's stuff that's going to happen and you're going to have to react to that. But I made a mistake right here by coming in too hot and hitting the left side. And if I just did what I practiced, it would have been a little better of a situation, because on the left, there's a bunch of like loose dirt. On the right, not only is the dirt might be a little consistent, but it's a straight line to Ranger Danger. And so I was just coming in too hot, hitting the ramp to the left. I was already somewhere where I shouldn't even be. And that's somewhere you shouldn't be in the race, man. So, it's my first year racing. And that's kind of something I took away from this race is, hey, man, you got to be really self-disciplined to race the race that you were practicing. You know what I mean? And like I said, you can't do it to 100% because things happen. But, I came in a little too hot and I hit the wrong side of that ramp.
But to what you're saying, you got to have a game plan, and then there's game time changes that you make, but it's not diverting too far from your original plan.
I just came in too hot. I should have brake checked a little sooner, because I already had a mark. Like when we're flying up that place, there's this gap between two bushes, and that's where I would mark myself to kind of start braking. And I'm not sure if I hit that mark. I think I passed it a little bit, but it was race for the rail, baby. We were going hardcore. We were trying to win it.
Money's on the line. That's some of the problem as well, is that you have a game plan. You get some bumping going on, and then your emotions are going as well, telling you if you don't get there first or second, you don't go on. It's a lot of things. It's not just one thing. For anybody who sits at home on their couch and you don't compete, and it's been years from competing. When you're competing, there's a lot going on.
Oh, so many things going on that it's a skill just to kind of canister all that in and remain calm on the surface and remain calm enough just to do the skill to your ability. You know what I mean? So
yes.
I like what you said there also, that if you're riding your race, if you're doing what you practice and going as hard as like you're mentally ready for, obviously outside circumstances, but that forces the other riders. They've got to make that choice. If you're not, like, if you're in front of them, they got to make the choices to be able to pass you, as opposed to you, that being a circumstance that you have to overcome. You just got to ride it and then make them make the choice if they're going to take you on or not.
Okay, so let's get back to the race. We'll see if we have to rewind it a little bit or see what's happening. You might need to rewind it a little bit. Can we go backwards just a little bit on that? Because you can already see carnage there. All right, all right, let's hit play there. I think that's good.
I was going to say heartbreak.
So here, you're still in first. This is the second feature.
Oh.
And you're down, right, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
And there you are. You're down again.
Yeah, what happened there?
So I really don't, to be honest, this little part right here, I don't remember too well as far as where I was mentally, because I'm just trying to get back on the board so fast. And I don't know if we talked about this last time, about that manic look getting back on the board. Is that what we were talking about, that, Scott? I'm not sure if that was. But yeah, in that crazy moment, we're just trying to get back on the board. And because it's like race for the rail and all that, like, I guess I put the board right back where I fell, and it was just the worst place to put it. You know, in a normal situation, you'd have walked over here where it was a little harder and started. But, you know, you're in a race situation. You don't want to be some sort of disqualification. You can't do that. So just place it right back where it was, and that was just super sandy. And I tried to just give it gas, and I was just trying to get back on the road.
Yeah, so you fell because you hit mush. You hit the sandy.
Yeah, it was just sandy. It was just super sandy there, and I was probably giving it too much.
Okay.
Those are the things where you kind of have to wiggle out of it. And it's race for the rail, and they're zooming, and someone might fall off. I'm trying to get back up there.
Yeah. So we don't see you again. Here's the finish line. I mean, we see you in but I don't recall. Here's that heat. Here we go. This is slides across. Winner second. Okay, they're moving on.
I was like, what? Kyle can't even believe it right there. Kyle was like, what?
And Tyler here is like, did not finish because he didn't come across the finish line. But, Jeff, this is a long time of not seeing you. And then there you are. Did you fall again, or did you end up just getting off the gas pedal?
No, I was telling you that I didn't do it. I was having a conversation, I think, with someone else. We didn't have this conversation.
We have not had a conversation about this.
Yeah, after I got back on, they were so far ahead. I didn't go maybe like 100%. I did like a nice sportsmanship 90, and finished it out. By the time I was over Ranger Danger, they were so far down that, I finished. But I was back there. They beat me.
Were you at that point when you saw that you were like, "There's just no way all three of them would have to fall"?
Yeah, after I fell, I guess, and after I got back on consistent speed and I was going, they were so far ahead of me that, I was done.
Thank you. I do want to say a big thanks to everybody that watches every week on our YouTube channel, our podcast, or you listen to it. Without you, what would be the point? It would be just us hanging out in here doing nothing. Subscribe to the channel as we try to pump out as much one-wheel content.